Okay, so once your brioche dough is mixed, take out the mixer. You need to scale this at 900 grams and then leave it to rest for 5 minutes. This has already had 5 minutes rest, so put a little bit of flour on the table so it doesn't stick. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this onto the BDM to roll out. So we need one of these trays, and you will also need your rolling pin. Okay, so we'll roll it out into a circle, and you just need to make sure that it's big enough to fit onto the BDM plate. Bit more flour. This dough can be a little bit sticky because obviously we've got a lot of egg and a lot of milk in there. So if you need to use a bit of flour to stop it from sticking, then obviously you can do that as you need to. If you're struggling to roll it out straight away, give it a few minutes and then come back to it. Okay, so we'll put it onto this plate, and when we put it onto the plate, what we need to do is we just need to make sure that it's nice and even, but also don't go past the circles. So you can see the circles, you want to be about just over halfway on the circles, because what will happen is the BDM will push this out when it moulds it. Again, just make sure it's nice and flat, nice and even. A little bit of flour, and then we'll put it on the BDM. Okay, so we've got the BDM, we've got 30 moulded balls. These should be 30 grams each because we scaled at 900 grams. What we're going to do now is we're just going to get the tins ready and then get these into them. Right, so these are the tins that you need to use. These are the small tins. These are located behind the back of the ovens. So these are very important that you use these ones rather than the UCB tins, so not the ones with UCB written on the side. These tins don't have non-stick coating on the inside. So what you need to do is you need to get some tin wax again and just spray them. Make sure they're clean, and then once they are clean, just give them a really good spray, because this brioche does stick if they've not got enough grease on them. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take our brioche and make sure they're moulded well. If they're not moulded quite so well, what we can do is we can just mould them up again with our hands. So we're going to place 6 of these into the tin. And what you want it to look like is that. Okay, so 6 side by side, like that. These go into the prover. What we also need to do is we need to egg glaze them. So we need to get some egg glaze and just brush it over nice and not too much, because otherwise we get too much egg in the bottom. But we need to egg glaze them, give them a nice glaze, so when they come out the oven they look nice and golden. So you'll need a brush, like I say, not too much, just enough to give them a nice covering. Sometimes some people might do this after proof. However, doing it before proof is easier, because there's a risk if you do it after proof that you knock them too much and then they lose height. So these will go in the proofer now for about 45 minutes, and then they'll be baked in the oven at 200 degrees for about 15 minutes. So the brioche are baked now. We can see that's what they'll look like, the kind of colour that you're looking to get. What we're going to do now though is finish them. So we just want some chocolate and icing sugar. What you're going to do is put some chocolate into a piping bag, and basically you're just going to kind of go over the top like that to create a line effect. Bit of silicone paper instead of on the table, so it's not so messy. It's easy to clean up. The same again over. Just keep doing it until you've done all your brioche, and then once you've done that, some ice and sugar, and basically just sieve a very small amount over the top. And it's done. If we, that's what it should look like, something like that.